On today's show, we're going to dive into our preseason primer on forwards and bigs in the 2023 draft, including M's personal prospect rankings and more. If you haven't already, check out part 1 of our preseason primer on guards and wings before the season tips off on Tuesday. That can be found on YouTube as well as your preferred podcasting platform. Locked On Women's Basketball starts now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome. You're Locked On Women's Basketball. My name is Hunter Cruse, and I'm the Saturday host covering the WNBA draft and college basketball at large. Thanks for making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Women's Basketball is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match when up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. That's PrizePicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. I'm joined by my co-hosts, M. Adler and Joshua Welch. M is a beat writer for the Seattle Storm, in addition to their plethora of work at the Knicks. Joshua Welch is a women's basketball content creator and can be found at ENFP_hoops on Twitter. All right, so let's get into the most exciting part of this episode, which is M's top 12 prospects.
I'm ready to disagree with almost everything. Probably just the top 3 I'll agree with, but let's see.
Yeah,
I'm equally excited. This has obviously been a long time coming that the draft board's been in the works for. The draft board, by the way, will be published at thenexthoops.com on Sunday. You can look forward to catching all of our scouting notes. All of my scouting notes on over 20 prospects over there, including some to watch for this upcoming season. So without further ado, let's go from 1 to 12. So we'll build the uncertainty.
Okay, so do you want us to take a guess?
Yeah, let's see. Well, who do you think I have number 1?
Boston.
Good choice. Yes, it is in fact Aliyah Boston.
Couldn't be anybody else.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, look, top prospect in the draft. We've talked about her on our first show before. We're going to talk about her later in the show too. No brainer.
Just the most complete player, hands down. Like, you know, they're going to make a franchise-altering impact, whoever gets her. So, super excited.
For sure. Next, we have
Haley Jones.
Right again.
Okay, 2 for 2. Okay.
Oh yeah. Do you wanna roll the dice? Go triple or nothing on number 3.
I don't think it's Diamond anymore. I think she fell a little lower for you.
It's Osborne.
I'm going with Sheldon.
I'm sorry. It's Diamond Miller.
It is Diamond. Good. Okay, so you kept her at 3. She's 2 for me. So awesome.
I have issues with her footwork. I have issues with some of the limitations we've seen, but I don't think there's anyone outside those top 2. Beyond Diamond Miller, I don't think there's anyone else in this class who has the combination of tools, length, and size to be an actual difference maker, all-star player on both ends of the court. I don't know what the odds are that she gets there, but no one else really has that potential that's so tangible.
I disagree, but we're going to go throughout the season. I'm more high on this draft class, like the top 10. I think there can be some impact players, but we'll see. Plenty of time to discuss that. Okay. Number 4, I'm going with Sheldon.
Nailed it. I have been beating the drum on JC Sheldon since, I want to say, last April. Just her offensive ability. We talked about this in the first show. Hunter, you talked with her about it. Yeah, easy pick for me, considering the volume she's had and who she's done it against.
Okay, 5, I'm going Asia Blackwell.
It's Charisma Osborne.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
No, I'm really high on her too. I have her 6.
Absolutely.
I just love her film, just on both ends of the floor. Like, it's gonna be so exciting, her having a talented roster. But yeah, what made her 5 for you?
Honestly, just the ability on both ends of the court. Her motor, despite not being the tallest guard in the world, her motor on defense is unbelievable. She's really good defending at the point of attack in a way that someone with her usage on offense should not be able to be. Just her feel for the game is translates. Feel you don't have to speculate about, and it's unbelievable with her.
Definitely. Okay, 6th is Blackwell.
6 is not Blackwell. Hunter, do we have any guesses?
Jackson.
It is Rickea Jackson.
Nice. She's my fourth. Yeah, just so much athleticism.
I can see why you have her fourth.
Just, like, we haven't gotten a full season of her, I think, since like her freshman or sophomore season at Mississippi State. Just different.
We haven't gotten a full season from her, and we also haven't gotten a season in which she's been in what I will diplomatically call a healthy and supportive environment with good coaching since her freshman year. There's a lot. I
don't know where people are going to be positioned, like you've talked about a lot, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah. So she's transferring from Mississippi State to Tennessee, and look, there is so much potential in her game in terms of her ability to hit that jumper, just cleaning up a little bit mechanically, keeping those shoulders stable. She could be a legitimate shot creator threat off the bounce, off the catch from both the 3 and the 4. Her defensive ability as a helper is crazy. Awesome. I'm a huge fan. I honestly did not expect to be as big of a fan as I am.
Yeah, I remember when I first brought her up and said she was my fourth, and I've stuck with it, even with watching a film of other players. Like, you're like, But yeah, no, just so much athleticism again. Just it's nice to see how she connects.
I will admit, I was skeptical about how high you had Osborne, how high you had Jackson. I see it. 7 is exactly who you thought was the last called pick. 7, I have Asia Blackwell. Okay. I think she's a little more of a project than the other 2. I think there are more skills that she can definitely get to, but that there's more that needs to happen in terms of her development to get there. I'm really optimistic that she's following in Alyssa Smith's footsteps to get there at Baylor, and I'm excited to talk about her in the second half of the show as well.
No kidding. Okay, so I'll wait on talking about her. That's right. She's going to be in the next segment, so I'll hold my horses. Next is Horston.
No, it is not.
Wow.
Next is
Daisha Fair.
It's Shaylee Gonzalez.
Okay. Yep. She has put so much film on Shaylee Gonzalez in our chat. So go ahead. What has you?
Shaylee Gonzalez is, physical ability, the things she flashes, what she does twice a game, just in being able to cross over someone at the point of attack, run off a ball screen perfectly, or run a pick and roll, get into the paint, draw help, and make a no-look pass off to the roller for an open layup. Her instincts on the offensive end are excellent there.
Yeah, her feel is insane.
Defensively, as we were saying with Charisma Osborne, there's a few point guards in this draft who are shockingly able to be two-way players and two-way very impactful players in a way that you don't get from a lot of guards just in professional basketball, and certainly not in the WNBA all that much. Her ability to make backside rotations, her ability to sink and to fill and to get her hands in passing lanes, I was shocked by how well she's able to do it. BYU's schedule hasn't been the hardest in the world, so she's at Texas, and that's a challenge.
But she's going to have the ball handling support in Sonia Morris who transferred over from DePaul. So 2 playmakers being able to feed off each other, that team's fun. They were picked, I believe they're number 2 in the poll, and there's a reasoning for that. They're absolutely loaded. So. And
you haven't even mentioned their actual starting, probably true point guard, Rory Harmon.
Yeah, but no, I was just going off draft prospects, but yeah.
Yeah, Rory Harmon, sophomore at Texas, Big 12 freshman of the year. She was on a all Big 12 team. I don't remember which one, but just her feel
so much fun.
Unbelievable. So much fun.
Incredible.
Number 9, Hunter said her name a little while ago.
Daisha Fair.
It is Daisha Fair.
Okay, you have her at 9th. Awesome.
I do. On the board, which will come out Sunday, I have some strong strengths and I have some concerning weaknesses. Her handle is, good lord. The highlight reel I've made of her from just the 2 games I've watched is just she's embarrassing Destiny Henderson and Zaya Cook and Abby Myers and Caitlin Chen. This is just ridiculous stuff that she's able to do. And be a good... It's it feels like a combination of James Harden and Steph Curry in a lot of ways. I'm also concerned that she only plays in zone defense and is 5'5", so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I have been advocating her big time. I probably do it to annoying fashion if you follow me on Twitter, but just so like I just love her game. Just the handles, despite her size, she makes it so it doesn't matter. Just with the space she creates for herself and just how dynamic it is. You don't know if she's gonna step back for the three or embarrass you going up to the rim, like Emma was talking about. So. Yeah, it'll be really fun to see her get a handful of really strong competition in the ACC this season. So,
yeah, for sure. And then number 10 is someone you keep mentioning.
So Horston fell all the way back to 10 for you. Okay.
Yeah, I thought she'd be higher, but I also was a lot more down on this class before I started scouting everyone more in depth over the summer. And look, my opinion of her hasn't changed. You know, she has potential. She has potential that I'm excited to talk about later. She has significant problems in that I have no idea what she could possibly be good at on offense that carves out an entire role. There's a lot of potential. And at number 10, I think drafting for a very high upside potential is a good pick.
Yeah.
All right, let's go weird. Let's go weird.
Okay, number 11.
Okay. You're going weird for 11th. I'm going to take a jump and say Hannah Jump. You've sent so much film quick release.
Not quite.
Not quite. Okay, give us a conference.
ACC.
Celeste Taylor.
Owasu?
It is Celeste Taylor.
Celeste Taylor. Wow. Okay. It's a home.
A lot of this.
I'll accept it.
Oh.
That's too obvious.
Okay.
I'm just messing with you.
All right. It's not like I'm sitting in front of a sign that's the Independent Daily at Duke University or anything. And I don't know what kind of homer you're talking about. For me, with her, I think she's an excellent defender. I think she's an unbelievable point of attack defender. I think her motor is, like I talked about Chris Osborne, her motor is absurd. She ran a super high usage rate last year, was the team's, in the beginning of the season, primary, later on secondary, shot creator, and was still a point of attack defender in a conference that arguably has the most guard talent anywhere in the country in college. And for me, I think what this really comes down to is her jumper form, to me, has significantly improved since she got to Duke. And her numbers, both off the catch and off the dribble, have continuously improved during her time in college. If that keeps happening, then I think you're looking at a two-way slasher point of attack defender. It's really useful.
Yeah. No, and I feel like defensively and then off the glass for the position she plays, I think she's a legitimate prospect with that, but just getting to the level you're saying she is going to get to, she has to improve that shooting you said is going to happen with the improvement in her form. So I'm excited to see that. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, speaking of shooting, number 12 is...
Is it someone that we've mentioned?
It is. That's Hannah Jump, actually.
That's Hannah Jump.
Okay. Hannah Jump, who is, she's the best shooter in professional basketball, in my opinion. Over her time in college, 3 years, she has shot, I think it's about 43% on short distance threes, and per CBB analytics, she has shot over 37% from beyond 25 feet on 100 attempts. Her range is absurd. She has lightning quick release. She is, I think, able to do enough defensively to not just give up layups every time she's on the court. So just to recap, that I currently have the first round in the draft. Just to tier it off, top tier is Aliyah Boston, then Haley Jones, then a little pack at the end of the lottery of Diamond Miller, J.C. Sheldon, Charisma Osborne. A little half step down from them, Rickea Jackson, Asia Blackwell at 7, Shaylee Gonzalez at 8, Deja Fair at 9. And then a tier to round it out, number 10, Jordan Horston, number 11, Celeste Taylor, and number 12, Hannah Jump.
And before we jump to the ad break, just want to say, I'm excited to see Jump start. She obviously has the shot, but I just want to see how she contributes in other ways. There wasn't as much of material to come up with a full grade for me, so I'm excited to see how she impacts other components.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Coming up shortly, we'll look into more forward prospects in the 2023 WNBA draft. But first, let me tell you guys about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is your go-to for daily fantasy sports. If you're not familiar with Prize Picks, it's a simple process. You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they score more or less than the Prize Pick projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit, match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. If you deposit $100, Prize Pick will give you $100. If you deposit $50, Prize Pick will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code Locked On at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. And we're back. Thanks for making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen every day. And for your second listen, check out Locked On Sports Today. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports, go beyond the scoreboard and beyond the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On, you get your podcast. Let's get back into our preseason primer on forwards in the 2023 draft, leaving off with Diamond Miller. We'll start with her game. So Diamond Miller is just like this versatile forward. We see her like excel in the open court, just her ability to get downhill, also in transition. So like we mentioned earlier with M's top prospects, it's like at the top it's like there's Diamond Miller, but there's also Haley Jones, who's just this another versatile prospect in her own right. So I guess we can start with Haley Jones, I suppose. So Haley Jones to see what.
And really quick, since we were talking about Miller, just really high on her. I have her slightly ahead of Jones. If we can get Miller back to the level she was playing her sophomore season, really hoping she's healthy and just confident in her abilities again. It's really hard coming back from an injury and trusting your body, like she was talking about in her interview with you. But yeah, I just see so much potential for her being that next prospect after Boston. So really excited to see what happens with her game coming up. Can't believe her starting Monday. So excited.
Look, hold on a second. I like Miller. Don't get me wrong, and I think she has really good potential. I mentioned that before. You have her above Jones?
I do. I brought this up multiple times in our chat. Yeah.
I don't think I noticed.
I don't think I noticed.
Yeah, just the athleticism.
I would have said something.
They're like really, really close to each other. Like I would be fine if anybody brings up either one. Huh?
I think the production's different. I think
that's one way to phrase it. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll talk about Haley Jones then, since apparently I'm out on a limb there in thinking she's good. Look, I mean,
I love Haley Jones.
What?
I just love both of their games. It more says more on how high I am on Miller, because I was high on Jones before making my draft board, but then I just saw Miller's sophomore tape. I'm like, oh, this is a player that is on the same level, in my opinion. Like just how she can take over games and potentially be an instant impact player upon getting drafted. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Look, I've watched both tapes, and I'll give the counter argument. I mean, for me, Haley Jones is a premier defender in college, and in ways that translate to the pros. You know, there are ways that you can have college defenders versus professional defenders. I mean, the most obvious examples are people who just like draw a lot of fouls, or people who play in like a Vic Schaefer type defense. It works well at the college. Those skills don't translate to the pros. But I mean, Haley Jones, like her physical ability to defend is unbelievable. The way she can flip her hips, her hand-eye coordination, the way she shuffles her feet, stays in front of drivers. As like a backline help defender, she's unbelievable. And for someone who, you know, is going to play the 4, could possibly, you probably don't want it to play the 3. Like, I mean, just that help defense and the ability to switch onto anyone is incredible to me. You know, she flashes a lot of offensive skill. Her playmaking, Hunter, you've been on this boat, is incredible. I'm probably a little lower on her than you are in the offensive aspect, but like she could be an excellent driver and finisher if she can.
And I wonder, I'm hoping playing point guard. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm just hoping, like, I really think she has a 3-pointer in her back. Like, there's games where it comes through, and I'm hoping like her taking more of the point is going to bring that out. Because if she gets that into her game, she becomes number 2 to me. Like she would become.
For sure.
Yeah, but is that going to come?
If she had a 3-pointer, she'd be unbelievable. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, for me, the thing with Miller is watching her. It keeps jumping out to me. Her footwork on both ends. She has a problem on the perimeter. getting her feet right. Maybe half the time she has her feet right, and her ability to drive when she gets that done is unbelievable. No one can keep up with her, and the combination of that speed and the length, she finishes so easily. On the other hand, there's a lot of times there's extra steps there. And last year, there was the injury problem. So you can't take that against her. She had a significant knee surgery to correct that just this past summer. But I saw that on her sophomore tape too. So I'm concerned, but that's definitely something that can clean up. And if that cleans up, I mean, you're looking at a two-way, just like high usage, high impact wing on both ends.
Exactly. I saw similar things to you. Not enough to take her out of the top 3 or for me to be so excited about her being a lottery pick. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Hunter.
Let's get into Rickea Jackson now. We kind of touched on her earlier, so we can just quickly go in a little bit more depth there with her game. She'll be transferring from Mississippi State to Tennessee. 6'3" forward, combo forward she's at Tennessee now. Super athletic, long, lengthy. So I can give it to you first, Josh, to kind of explain the pitch for her as a lottery prospect.
Yeah, just her athleticism is just what stuck out to me on her film. It doesn't feel like it's fully come together, just not being able to get a full season sample. So I'm really excited on this Tennessee team where she's going to have multiple playmakers, and we're going to really be able to see her full game, just being able to play a specific role on this Tennessee team rather than just trying to take on more than she needed to with Mississippi State. So I just think the sky's the limit for her, and more than the sky, because the sky are 5th and I have her as a lottery pick. So
I swear to God, Josh.
I love my puns, but
Puns are crazy. Was that one planned? Was that one just
No, it was not. Yeah.
Fine. I gotta give you props for that one. But I mean,
I get that jokes all day. Just ask my wife. So.
Just to build off those points with Jackson, I mean, everything you said absolutely jumps off the tape. It's also her ability to score in any way, off the catch and off the dribble. You see a lot of forwards, you see a lot of shot creators who can get a shot, but they don't have much of a counter. I mean, she has a pull-up 3, she has a handoff 3, DHO, catch and shoot in the corner. She has the ability to get to the mid-range, do a pull-up. She can get to the rim, and she does, and she finishes well. There's a versatility and there's an intelligence there, and physically on the defensive side, she can guard any 4. It's really impressive. If she develops, some secondary rim protection, because she won't be forced to play the 5 at Tennessee like she was at Mississippi State.
And she's not a 5.
Boy, would she be incredible.
So let's get to the next Tennessee prospect, Jordan Horston, 6'2". I call her a funky forward because we don't really know what she can do. There's flashes of everything, but there's also flashes of doing none of those things. So what I see with her is just the pace-based creation, super athletic, but sometimes she's out of control. Her assist-to-turnover ratio is crazy bad as well. The shot mechanics, I think the shot mechanics aren't horrible. They're good. I don't think they're that bad. But I feel like the problem is just her efficiency. She just takes some wild shots. Just kind of improving that processing could be huge for her. But with Horston, I kind of see a lot of I used that comparison before, but Diamond DeShields is another Tennessee prospect, to where they're just heavy shot makers, but they just don't have they just don't have the recognition of defenders and at all times knowing where players are at. So it's a tough bag, but I think the upside's there to be a interesting first round prospect for me.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at on her. There are so many skills, and it just feels like none of them come together. She's her passing ability, especially for someone at 6'2", is unbelievable. The amount of juice she can get on the ball, the way she can pinpoint bounce passes into the pocket, it's unbelievable. But she throws them just through defenders so often. I should say that. Sorry, she throws them into defenders so often. She thinks she has a window and she doesn't. That's a good sign for growth. That's a good sign that someone is trying to expand their passing. It needs to be reined in at some point, though, for that to actually work. At the same point, she gets downhill exceptionally. She uses her physicality and her athleticism so well. She has a great floater, too, to pair with that. But she's a really bad finisher. Like, it doesn't make any sense. She should be a great finisher with her length and size, and she gets to the rim so often, and she's not a good finisher. Defensively, I have no qualms. She's excellent defensively. She's just a great wing stopper. She's really good at help, and if she could figure out how to navigate ball screens, she could legitimately guard point guards.
Yeah, and Blackwell's like another player. Like, I have them really close to each other, just like players that, I could see making a big step, and I just think they're clearly top 10 picks in this draft. I'm really high on Blackwell and Horston just in what they are able to bring to the table. With Blackwell, like, averaging a double-double in a Power 5 conference is amazing, and that's coming on a Missouri team that I do not think she was being used fully in the right way either. So being able to go to Nikki Colleen and Baylor and play with some phenomenal athletes there, I think she is really going to shine. And I might be too low on her by the end of it. Having her at 8th right now, she could be something even better than that by season.
Yeah, I think Blackwell. Yeah, I think Blackwell has. I mean, her physical tools are unbelievable. The way she can move on defense and on offense, but defense is really where that comes into play. And she flashes a lot an ability off the catch to just be someone who can finish plays both from three and getting to the rim and finishing well. She could be a player who is just an elite role player. If she can come along developmentally and clean up some stuff.
So I'll go right into Laisha Amahair. So I'm probably higher on her than anybody else in the world probably right now.
Outside of South Carolina fans.
Oh yeah, probably that. Yeah.
Look, I like her. Look. I've liked her and I've looked at her. Letitia Amahair is someone who, like, physically, you look at her, you look at how she dribbles and passes, and it's great. But I'll let you finish on that one.
So yeah, I just like the size, the length, versatility. Like, I mean, she can't shoot yet, but like, I don't know why. I just like the mechanics. I don't know. I have hope in the mechanics somehow. Like, I don't know. It's like,
oh
it's
man,
functional.
there are so many players that you get fired as a GM for just loving the mechanics.
But see, I can't lose hope. I just can't. Like, I'm in it now. I gotta give her another chance, because like, my biggest pause with her right now is just the scoring production. Like, I still haven't done this research yet, but I'm so curious to see how many prospects like didn't have like any statistical indicators where she's averaging like 6 points. Like, I don't know if there's many prospects that have actually done that, and then were first round picks or draft picks. So she could stay around another year. She has that opportunity. So we'll kind of see play by ear throughout the season. Kind of keep touch on her, because if she's playing good, you're gonna hear from me. I'll be the first one. You'll be.
I hope so, because her story is phenomenal. Like, she seems like a great person too to root for. Yeah, I just wonder, getting more minutes, and South Carolina is so stacked. Like, you have to earn those minutes, and you have to have offensive production. So hopefully she takes that next step.
I'm going to go with, instead, someone on the exact opposite end of that sort of like athleticism, polish, size spectrum. Fran Belibi. She's similarly long. She's similar. Wait, I'm just going to cut to here. I'm going to go with just someone on the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of polish versus athleticism. Fran Belibi. She's obviously like very athletic. Stanford's backup center. In terms of the dunks, in terms of the highlight blocks, the closeouts she can make. She also only plays about 14 or 15 minutes a game, and from the information that I've those minutes though. And exactly from the information that I've been given, it's sort of a like physical ability conditioning thing where she probably can't play more than that. That's just how her body works. You're going to draft her to play 12, 13 minutes a game as your backup center, and she's got real good ability. There are some concerns about the versatility on both ends, but what's there is there.
Yeah. No, she's like clear second. Like, yeah, even like I have her outside of the top 15, but just her athleticism, it's definitely top 15 and everything, especially with how she's able to block shots and make such a big impact. And someone else who's lower on my board, but I'm really excited for, and unfortunately they're going to be dependent on more at Arizona, is Esmery Martinez. I thought she was great at West Virginia. I think she has another offensive layer that we didn't quite get to see there. And yeah, I think she's going to be a lot of fun this season. Yeah, again, just unfortunately with the injuries at that school, she's really going to have an opportunity to shine and be the main player and main star for that team. What are your guys' thoughts on Esmery?
I'm a big fan of her feel. I think it's great. Her ability to guard defensively, both in help and then switching back onto bigs, it's very Brianna Turner-esque to me. And then offensively, I think there are clear options for her. She seems like a great cutter and a great roller, very smart. I just need to see more of it at Arizona.
After the break, we'll cover a short list of big prospects, including the one and only Aliyah Boston, Elizabeth Kitley, and an international big that I believe is significantly undervalued in draft circles. And we're back. So let's start off at the top of our list with Aliyah Boston. We've covered her many times on this podcast. So I'll give it to you, Em, just to make a quick pitch on her game, because you covered it a little bit earlier. What do you think makes her the standout prospect?
We talked about this at the top of our very first episode together, and I still have the same answer, which is how on earth am I supposed to give a quick summary of what makes Boston an elite prospect? She is basically the best prospect to come out of college since her predecessor at that school, A'ja Wilson. She is almost a no-doubt future all-star at the WNBA level. She can defend pretty much anything inside the arc. She's an elite rim protector. Her footwork is unbelievable. The game moves slower for her than it moves for anyone. She's unbelievably patient. She has every post move in the book. She's flashed side steps in the mid-range off the dribble. She's flashed an ability to really do consistent three-point shooting that her volume keeps increasing. We could be looking at Lisa Leslie or Joelle Embiid at their best here.
Okay. I think that's it. I think that's all we have to say about Aliyah Boston. I think we've covered her enough. Okay. So let's go to Elizabeth Kitley.
You can never cover Aliyah Boston enough.
Yeah. I had to resist talking there. I know people saw it, but so I'm going to resist
until next week.
Move on with the show.
Until next week. Okay. So let's go to Elizabeth Kitley. I don't have as many good things to say, sadly.
I do. So
why do you have to phrase it that way?
She's a clear first rounder to me, and I don't think it's close right now on her being the number 2 center. I think she's going to end up going higher in the draft just because she is the next best center. And it wouldn't be too much of a drop-off just with the production she does. I still think she's going to be able to have a role in the W. As far as being a starter, the potential is there. There's just some things that I want to see improve, and especially ball handling and passing to me. I don't know about you guys, but...
So if she can't ball handle, pass, or shoot, then what's her role? Be a post-up big?
Hey, she has a good fadeaway turnaround jumper. Yeah. She's a really versatile post scorer. I will say, I have her on my draft board, so I think she is a legitimate prospect. I would play her
definitely
at the NBA level and see what happens. I will also say that if they don't get the first overall pick, she feels like a late first round fever pick.
Didn't we say that about Lisa Kunane last year and she didn't go in the first round?
We didn't have this show last year.
But
and generally, okay. So let's move to another Southern prospect. Let's go to Mari Key. We don't have a lot to say. I don't think. I'll give it to you first, Joshua. I know you like Tamari Key. You got to be the positive one here. You got to be the positive one.
Okay.
Give me the
no. And people, if you need me to defend a player, I will. I really struggle. Being a critic because I'm just a big fan of wanting people to succeed. So it's a struggle for me talking too down a player, and especially Tamari Key is athletic. There's things I want to see improve, but I like her shot blocking. I think she's going to another player that is just not going to have as much dependent on her, especially with the size on that Tennessee team. I think she's going to be able to stand out a little more than last season. I think she'll be able to be in less awkward situations where she's having to do more than what's outside of her game. She's still someone that I think is a top 20 prospect. I don't have her in the first round, but to me, she's the third best center for right now in this draft class. So what about you guys?
I think she's a good screener. I think she plays pick and rolls decently. I think she... is a fine finisher, especially for center. I think she's absolutely an elite rebounder. She might be the best rebounder in the country. She has very good hand-eye coordination. She is very good at blocking shots. Hunter, you.
So I think like my main thing is just like she's not super schemable. I don't think there's a lot of like I think we've seen it with like other bigs where they'll try to get them out at the level of the screen and they'll just get lost. Like she's like her foot speed is kind of questionable. Just how she tries to backpedal, it's kind of worrying. Like she's almost falling a couple of times. Like a couple of the videos I saw. So yeah, I don't know how a team could use her like successfully. Like it's super tough, but I think like she could get drafted more than likely. Just the college production alone will probably get her drafted. Yeah.
Yeah. Despite her size and obvious like athleticism, I think Elizabeth Kitley, for as much as we have taken issue with some of her defensive skills, I think Kitley's frankly flashed a lot more defensive ability.
The frame, I think. Yeah, the frame I think is more.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll go to I think it's May Hirsch. She's from France, in the EuroLeague, ESBVA. The first thing that popped with me was just her defensive versatility. Like we said with Tamari Key, Hirsch has no problem getting a defensive stance. Like there's a couple times where she would just like she would stick with a guard. It was a pick and roll, and she would instead of like playing in drop, she would kind of play up a little bit, and then she would force the force the offensive player baseline, and just like how she shuffles her feet, super impressive foot speed. I compared her to Cheyenne Parker before. I just kind of see it a little bit with just like her frame, her movement ability, and just how like her center of gravity is, just her like body makeup, and I think there's some ability as a shooter. I think she can at least step out a little bit. I think she has more upside than the other bigs we've mentioned in this class. It's like a 2-motion jumper, but like, I mean, the release is decent, and I think like teams aren't probably going to contest her if she actually comes over. I don't think teams really contest her, so she'll have opportunities like a Miles Turner type. Like she's gonna get looks, and I just think like there could be a role for her, and I don't think she makes like a bunch of ball stopping plays either. So I just think she's super well rounded and could be interesting in the back half of the draft.
Cheyenne Parker.
Coming to Cheyenne Parker, you are a man after Josh's heart.
So I haven't seen a lot of her film yet, so I'm definitely going to have to look at that because right now all my board is college prospects. So
yeah, she's playing in some EuroLeague. I think she's like in the EuroLeague right now. So there's going to be some match wins to WNBA players. So pretty soon.
And really quick, I will talk about Aliyah Jackson because she is a monster.
Where does she play?
Blocker. Kansas.
Okay.
No, we're not doing Kansas. Come on, Kansas.
Yes, we are.
We're talking about everybody. Okay.
We've gone over on both of these segments.
Look at some for film. Now, her offense, don't look at that. Look, just focus on her front court. She has some offensive spurts.
This isn't baseball.
Her offensive, like, she has some offensive spurts, like, but, you know, like close to 10 points a game, but it's all in the defense, but especially her shot clock blocking ability. It's really good. Like, she actually has decent footwork. She's not just standing in one place and waiting to get the block. The biggest thing for me, like in her staying as a legitimate draft prospect, like right now she's the last player on the draft board for me at 36. How she can move up is just improving that offense, especially free throw shooting. She was really low compared to other Power 5 players, but just the defense, I think she's a legitimate prospect with that, and I'm excited to see the next step she takes for Kansas this next season. I think she's someone that's going to be on more people's draft boards as the season goes along, and I'll be the one to say, like, hey, here's my proof right here that I was bringing her up before the season.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Aliyah Jackson is someone that I have admittedly not watched, but I pull up her stats, and 99th percentile in blocks, personal foul efficiency, 99th percentile in, or 96th percentile in steals, appears to be an excellent rebounder. Maybe you're onto something. I
am. But anyway.
I love the confidence.
Yeah, that confidence is okay. Okay, so next time you hear from us, W Basketball, we'll kind of break down what's happened through the first week of the season. But thanks for making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen. For your next listen, check out Locked On Sports Today podcast, the biggest stories of the day, plus instant reactions, big game recaps, and the take of the day. Available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast.